While the Biden regime continues to lie to the American people regarding their manufactured border crisis, there's a new documentary highlighting the problems our border states are facing. The group Defend the Border has recently dropped the first episode in its Death County and the River of Broken Dreams documentary. The documentary's first episode features former acting ICE director Tom Homan.
President Biden handed operation control of our borders to the criminal cartels by opening the border. No one celebrated this election more than criminal cartels.
So this is a result of open borders. More deaths in an open border. More deaths since this show just started than I've seen in my career. This is not humane. Migrants are dying every day.
This is the United States of America. It's supposed to be sovereign land. We're supposed to be able to control our own border. We don't control the border. The criminal cartels, the ones looking at us right now, they control this border. The strongest nation in the world no longer controls the southern border, which has resulted in historic illegal immigration, historic drug flow, historic sex trafficking of women and children. This can be stopped. We've done it before. We got to defend the border. We got to save lives.
The 45-minute episode shows how the cartels are utilizing our southern border to make billions. The film even features members of law enforcement finding human remains at the border. Sadly, under the Biden regime, over 800 people have lost their lives at our southern border. And as the film details, this influx in crimes and death isn't receiving any additional federal funding to help law enforcement fight back. And join us now to discuss is the CEO of Defend the Border, a nonprofit grassroots group. Welcome in, Mr. Tom Trento. Tom, thanks so much for being here. I met Tom Homan in person while standing at the border a couple of years ago one night, and he shared a lot of what he sees there with me personally. I think when you bring the story into people's homes, like you're doing in a narrative version in a story, it really hits home. But these are real stories. This is what people are really facing at our southern border.
Yeah, Emerald, first of all, thanks for having us, defendtheborder.org team. And a couple of years ago, we hooked up with Tom, the tough guy with a soft heart that you met. And he had just written a book, Defend the Border and Save Lives. That's a critical component of our campaign, 2-year campaign. If you defend the border, you will save lives. And we saw that this book shows the humanity of a tough cop who rose to the top of ICE. He and Trump in 17 and 18 secured the border. So we said, let's make a movie about this guy. Let's make a series about him. And we went and got one of the best conservative filmmakers in the country, Chris Burgard. And we put it together. And now it's showing for free on our website, defendtheborder.org. And Emerald, it's very simple. The border is the most critical issue facing voters in 2024 because it obliterates the rule of law. It enhances the invasion of people that want to destroy America, and it will culturally change the demographics so that conservatives will never have any political insight, any political exposure or influence ever again. That's how bad this is.
Yeah, it completely changes the fabric of our nation. And speaking as such, often on this show, Tom, we discuss the illegals coming in from communist countries, particularly. For example, reporter Michael Yan has flagged the vast number of Chinese nationals attempting to sneak into our country. I've had multiple national security professionals and former intelligence officials raise that concern to me, specifically the Chinese threat. You covered that angle too in your documentary. Let's take a listen.
Why are we seeing such a huge uptick in military-age males coming in from communist countries? Countries that have strategic reasons to do us harm.
Soldados? El danzo, sí, señor. Ask him what his job was ocupado in the military.
Yo soy chef y ingeniero.
He's an engineer. Engineer?
Sí, y chef.
Chef?
Sí, sí.
And served in Ontario too? He was a soldier. Where do we see him?
Sí serví, pero no. Sí serví, pero.
He's being a little evasive. They're not telling us.
It's not the women and children that the Biden administration present as the face of this crisis, Tom.
No, that's a scam. The Biden administration, in fact, sadly, the majority of the Democrat Party have bought into a neo-Marxist view that there should be no private property. Therefore, a country should not have a border, open borders, and we're seeing the results. Of the 5 million people, Emerald, 5 million since Biden has been president that have come in, 90% have absolutely zero claim for asylum. It's all BS. And the legitimate ones can come and should come through one of the 326 points of entry in the United States, like my grandparents did in Ellis Island. So it's horrendous. And when you defend the border, you save lives. Listen to this. The cartels were doing $1 billion a year in drug trafficking. You get a kilo of Coke, they sell it, and then the Coke's gone. Now they're doing $1 billion a month with a B, $1 billion a month in taking a 15-year-old Venezuelan or Guatemalan young girl and selling her at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then at 10 o'clock at night. Recurring revenue through the human trafficking of innocent little girls. That's what the Biden administration is propagating.
Yeah, it's just gut-wrenching. Tom, I'm so glad you all have done this documentary because it really gives the visuals, the story, the personal faces of the issues we talk about related to this manufactured open border crisis policy that we talk about on a daily basis on this show. And for our audience, if you'd like to watch the documentary or if you want to donate to this nonprofit group to help them get these stories out there and help defend our border, you can go to defendtheborder.org, defendtheborder.org. I'm looking forward to watching the documentary for myself. I know you've done such a good job with it, even though I know it's going to be hard to watch. I really appreciate the work you all are doing, Tom.
Well, thank you very, very much. And you're doing amazing work. And the bottom line with us is we have a man, Tom Homan, 35 years on the border. We have a movie, an investigative report, 9 more to do, but we do need to raise money to do them. But we're creating a movement of grassroots mobilization of Americans to engage so that on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, we can turn this thing around and elect pro-border security politicians. Join with us and let's do this together.